When it comes to Snafu, you know, a lot of the animators who worked on these, just by virtue of working on them, they were fulfilling their obligation to their country. They were able to avoid combat by working on training films for the military at Warner's or other studios. Snafu was part of the Army-Navy Screen Magazine, which was basically a newsreel of various stories of interest to soldiers, and it also helped boost morale. They were usually shown right before showing a major Hollywood movie. It was sort of a big short subject. As far as Private Snafu is concerned, the idea of a character who could humorously point out the rationale between Army procedures and the hazards that might befall a soldier if policies weren't followed was developed early on. Frank Capra had a big hand in coming up with this sort of character. He was the supervising producer of the Army-Navy Screen Magazine. Disney was first approached, and they created a storyboard for the very first Snafu cartoon, and you can see that storyboard on page 330 of David Gerstein's must-have book, Mickey and the Gang. Look for it on Amazon.com. Disney was unfortunately outbid by the Leon Schlesinger studio. The Signal Corps put this series out for bid to all the Hollywood studios during the month of December of 1942. And Schlesinger was about half the price of what Disney was going to charge them, so they went with the Schlesinger studio. In January 1943, Theodore Geisel, a.k.a. Dr. Seuss, arrived at the Army Signal Corps to oversee the scripts and storyboards for this proposed series. Chuck Jones and Art Heineman refined the look of the character into the final design of the character that we know today. Production of the first Snafu cartoon, Coming Snafu, took place between January 1st, 1943 and February 19th. This first cartoon was included in the 4th issue of the Army-Navy Screen Magazine, which at that time was simply titled The War. They changed the name of that series, The War, into the Army-Navy Screen Magazine a few months later. Geisel definitely wrote the ones that are rhyming, like Spies, which was all done in rhyme. But Geisel generally just oversaw the production. Writers on the series that we know of were Phil Eastman, Eugene Fleury, Otto Englander, Harold Straubling, Hank Fritz, and Roger Garrison. The relationship between the Army and the Schlesinger studio went very smoothly in the very beginning, but about halfway through the production of the 26 of these Snafu cartoons, Schlesinger asked for more money, and the Army decided to bid out again. And they went to Hugh Harman, and they asked the Screen Gem Studios to put in a bid. They did, of course, do a few things with Hugh Harman's studio. They made a few films with him as well. They did decide to stick with the quality that Schlesinger was providing. I think they recognized the Warner Brothers style of humor, and they wanted to keep, you know, they loved the idea of a Warner Brothers style cartoon here, and I think they just decided to bite it. The budgets for the Snafu cartoons were in the range of $10,000 to $12,000 per cartoon. And of course, they were all 3 minutes long and in black and white.